Yeah, hi there. These comments are for H, and this is Michael. I am the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at Stealth, the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And let's take a look at your situation. So you say, here is my last TOEFL. I need to get a 24 on the writing. They are driving me crazy. I feel the writing scoring is very objective. They can score it any way they please. Yeah, so in your situation, I'm probably going to disagree with you. I don't think the writing is objective. You know, you're using the wrong word there. Writing is more subjective, I think, is the better vocabulary word there. Subjective means there's a little bit of bias or opinion involved. The writer or the rater is scoring it according to his or her own beliefs. I think subjective is the opposite of objective. Objective is what you might see more in a multiple choice exam. An essay exam would be considered more objective. Now, if we take a look at what it means, 22, I mean, let's take a look at it for a minute. Let's look at the independent writing rubrics for a minute. So that's about a 3.5 out of 4. It says addresses a topic in the task using somewhat developed explanations. It means you can probably develop your ideas a little more. You has unity, progression, and coherence. However, it is sometimes difficult to understand the connection of your ideas. And it also says has some problems with sentence formation or word choice that makes your ideas and meaning unclear, has accurate but limited range of sentence structures and vocabulary. Even based on the email, I agree with the assessment of the raters. I'll be honest with you, because let's go back to what you wrote. I mean, I already told you here that you're using the wrong word here, right? You want to use the word subjective, and you have difficulty controlling your sentences. For example, if I rewrite this idea, you might say, I would change it to say something like this. My last TOEFL score. Now, in this case, you can't put a comma there because you have two independent clauses, so you have to put a period here. Say, I need to get a 24 in the writing. They, unclear reference, who is they, doesn't refer to anything. You might say, that's a more specific word. The IBT human raters are driving me crazy. I feel the writing is very subjective. And you need a period here to avoid that run-on. Then you can say, the raters can score, I would say here, my writing tasks any way they please. Or how about this? However they please. And maybe here, instead of the two short sentences, you might do this. So now let's look at what you wrote. You have included above this message is my last TOEFL score. I need to get 24 in the writing. The IBT human raters are driving me crazy. I feel that the writing scoring is very subjective and that the raters can score my writing tasks however they please. What do you think? So I think based on what you wrote, now of course this was just an email and you don't have to have a high level of polish, but what I would be careful about in the email that you wrote is called sentence formation, which means you're not sure when one sentence ends and a new sentence begins, and you're not sure what type of punctuation to use in order to connect all your ideas together. And why does that matter? It matters because of this. You're complaining because you got 22, right? But it says if you score in the 3 range, your essay has one or more of the following. And I see in the email that you have problems with sentence formation and also word choice. For example, you use the word objective. I recommend the word subjective based on the meaning and what you're trying to say. And you also had some problems with sentence formation. Even you have a fairly limited range of sentence structure. So based on those reasons, I actually agree with the IBT human raters. I can understand completely why you did get 22 and not 24 on the IBT writing. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to disagree with you. I think that the IBT human raters are fairly accurate. They typically will have at least 2 people who will read and score your essay. If they disagree on it, they'll bring in a 3rd reader to read your response to settle the disagreement. So the TOEFL's actually pretty good with their scoring. They try to be as fair as possible. And I'm going to say based on your email, I think you do have some problems in your writing. Alright, but what do you do? I mean, and I can't remember right now, you might be one of my students. If you are one of my students, I would recommend taking a look at my 60-day, actually my 30-day writing study guide, because, I mean, let's face it here, you have incredible academic English proficiency. You have 30 out of 30 on the listening. You have 28, my friend. That's terrific. You have 28 points out of 30 on the speaking. You have 24 out of 30 on the reading. You have a total of 104. I mean, this is a really, really strong TOEFL score. So it looks like you have just a few problems you need to solve in writing. And based on your email, you probably need to do some study of comma splices and run-on sentences. You need to solve that. You probably need to work on advancing your sentence formation or your sentence style, where you're using a combination of basic and then more advanced grammar. And of course, you can learn all of these things in my online TOEFL course, right? So if you are one of my students, go to Better TOEFL Scores, and there you will see at the top link a study guide. Go and get the study guide, the 30-day writing study guide, and that's probably going to be the best thing for you right now. If you're not one of my students, you can just go back to that same website at Better TOEFL Scores, go to Join, click Join My Service. After that, then go get my study guide. Then you'll be able to get complete access to all those lessons. And what you want to do now is to begin completing my independent and integrated writing lessons, and then of course start completing practice tests. So I can take a look at your writing and try to give you some feedback also. And you can solve these problems. I mean, we can do this. It's just a matter of working through a few issues. All right?